I wanted to just talk about some of the, lessons I have learned from losing everybody and everything in my life over the last 7.5 or 8 years. For context, I'm Colleen. I'm widowed. I lost my husband 7.5 years ago. We had been together 29 years, more than half my life. And prior to losing him, I had been laid off from, a decades long career. And then after he died, the dominoes kept falling. I lost contact with my mother for a myriad of reasons, for minimal contact. And then I watched my sister battle colon cancer, and I lost her 3 years ago, my only sibling, and I have no really more extended family. So I'm also child free by choice. So I find myself solo aging all of the sudden, but this sudden kind of turn of events, this total, upsiding, flipsiding, whatever you want to call it, of my life over the last 7.5 years has taught me, some really hard lessons, but some lessons I will definitely take forward into this next chapter, or what I love to call my third act. The first lesson, I think, is we all live under this illusion that our life is permanent. I don't mean that we're going to live forever or that we're immortal, but we don't live thinking that we can be, we can go sideways at any time, right? And we certainly don't live as if a whole bunch of things can go sideways in a really short period of time, but they can. They can. And one, this has taught me a couple things: great empathy for people. The whole thing of, you don't know what's going on, with that person's life. It has taught me great empathy. But more than that, I think it's taught me really how to be more present. And it has taught me more gratitude. Not to the extent I'm not waking up every day and doing gratitude journals and things like that, but I think just on a day-to-day basis. And being present. I think there's a myth, people always say, live as if today's your last. And I did see a funny video somewhere where somebody's like, oh, please don't. Like, it'll be utter chaos. Like, if we're all living with that kind of, wanton abandon. But I do think there is something to being aware that what you have right now is not always going to be good, bad, or ugly, right? Good, bad, or ugly. And so we need to just kind of take it, I don't want to say with a grain of salt, but appreciate what you have, be grateful for what you have, and just be aware that it could be temporary. And so really, appreciate it while you have it. Another thing I learned that we all know, we all hear it, nobody's coming to save you. And the truth is, they never were. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to fix things for you. And I did go through a period of time, after my husband died and after a lot of the dominoes had fallen. And I really got to, why me? Why me? Why me? Totally valid. I'm not invalidating that. And I did have some really great therapy. And I was, very grateful for that. And I had a therapist say to me one time that really, really helped me move forward. And that was, if everything corrected itself, or was fixed by somebody, what would that change? And to be honest, it wouldn't change anything. You still have all this loss. Your life is still different. And it's mine to move forward with. It's mine to, quote, fix and build and move forward with, and only mine. So nobody else can fix it. Just like nobody else can go through grief for you. Everybody's going to go through grief differently. And nobody can go through that for you. You can have support, you can have that, but you're still going through it on your own. Nobody's coming to save you. And that's okay. That's okay. But I think for me, kind of learning that it was up to me and accepting that to move forward was really helpful in getting me to move forward and not just be stuck kind of, why me, why me, why me, which again is totally valid. I think probably the biggest lesson I have learned, and I hate these cliche sayings, but you have no idea how strong you are until you have no other choice. It's true. It's true. And I would say I'm incredibly resilient and I'm incredibly strong. Not that I want to have to be, but we can absolutely rise to the occasion when the situation calls for it. We absolutely can. And I guess maybe the fourth thing I've learned is life is always going to be cyclical. Life is always going to be up and down and inside out. And there is no, destination. We are not chasing happiness or one day you're going to wake up and everything in your life is going to be great. There will always be, a fly in the ointment somewhere. There will always be something gone awry. And so it's really important to keep your eye on, what is going well, and also really train your brain to look at the little things, the nuances, the small things that mean something to you, and not just the great big goals or, uh, destinations. Like, once this happens, I'll be happy, or once this happens, everything will be fixed. That's just not how life works. And um, probably the fifth lesson or whatever is all this loss. I don't want to call it a silver lining, because if I could go back and change all of it, I would, but I don't get to. Is I've really learned, or I'm learning, to open my mind to new possibilities, because I am starting over. I'm 58. I'm building a whole new life. I have no family left. I'm starting over. And while that is very daunting at times, the silver lining of that is, what are the possibilities? Like, if I let myself really dream or imagine or, just consider, what are the possibilities? So I'm learning to open my mind to new possibilities and to get excited about them and to get excited about them. And it doesn't change, the grief of the past for sure, but it's also given me, like, I don't know, hope and excitement for the future for sure, because I'm like, what am I going to come up with? I say things like, I want an entirely different life. I don't know what that is, but I'm excited about it. And I'm doing things, to get myself out of my bubble and just explore what is possible out there. So anyhow, those are some of the lessons that I've learned from losing everybody and everything in my life in the last 7.5 years and starting over at age 58. And it's really not all doom and gloom. I have hope for the future. Is life all great? No. There's hard parts, of course. Grief sneaks up on you when you least expect it. And there's some really, hard things I need to deal with as being like a solo ager and things like that. But at the same time, I also have, I don't know, a lot of excitement and enthusiasm for what's to come. Anyhow, I hope that helps. I'd love to hear your story of starting over or growth down in the comments. All right, cheers.